Hello and welcome to Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 10, episode number 11 for Sunday the 27th of February 2022. Hello there everybody, good evening, welcome to the show. You've just caught me eating a chocolate biscuit. Sorry. Hello, welcome aboard. I hope you're all good today. Just setting up the stream on my phone so I can see what you've all been talking about and stuff. Let's see if I can find it. But yeah, hope you've all had a good week. I've had a very busy week this week. I'm probably going to have a very busy week next week as well. So yeah, chaos reigns supreme in Andy's Shedland at the moment. There is so much to do, and I've got to go and change wheels and hubs and bearings on a boat trailer tomorrow. Yes, the boat is on its way, so we're hoping for a nice day tomorrow, so we can do stuff with the boat. Are we on live chat? Hey, it's come on live chat. I don't believe it. Rather than that silly top chat thing. Right, so yeah, we're off to see the boat tomorrow. So I might make a bit of video while we're out there. But have you also enjoyed the stuff about the radio station? The first two episodes of How to Start a Radio Station are out now on the channel. There are two more edited waiting for uploading to YouTube, and there's another one waiting to be edited. So there's 5 episodes so far. So there'll be more of that coming out this week. But then there's going to be loads more stuff as well. So yeah, it's rather busy, shall we say. So who have we got here in the chat today? We've got Christopher, we've got Gambo, we've got Dominic. He says he's never heard of a Sranofone. No, neither had I, Dominic, but it's here. I'll show you in a moment. Gambo still not had any luck apparently finding a suitable PBX. It said to Andy to pass on his email to Wesley. Yes, you did, Gambo. Wesley, if you're watching this, can you drop me a line? I don't know if you've got my email or not, Wesley. But if you've not, get on the thing at Andy's Shed. Get on the contact form and drop me a line on there if you've not got my direct email. Because I'm sure you've sent me something in the past, but I can't find the blooming email address now. So if you send me your email address, Wesley, I will put you and Gambo in touch. Oh, Wesley says in the chat here, says I've not been in touch with Andy yet, Gambo, but I'll get this PBX tested first. I have found a load of PBX sockets though. Well, that's excellent. Christopher has been out and about filming the Red Rattler again. Get on his YouTube channel if you want to see the 100-year-old train. Miget1 is here as well. Says hi all. And that, I think it's because I said Ukraine. I think Putin's tried to bomb me. Gambo says, hi Pete, my internet's playing up. Grrr. Is it yours though, Gambo, or is it us? It might be us. I sent some photos of the Red Rattler train to you, Andy, in the email. Yes, you have, Christopher. Yes, you sent me some more. So all good. I'll try and get to the photos in a bit if I possibly can. So yeah. Knocked off the live videos on Series 10 Episode 2, says Gambo. Not quite sure what happened there. You should be on Series 10 Episode 11, isn't it, this one? Yeah, this one's 11. Oh, cracky, the phone's ringing as well now. Hang on. I'm not doing very well, am I, today? I'm not doing very well at all today. What's happened to that now? That's stopped as well now. Come on, machine, get going again. Oh, now it's come back on top chat. Shall we start again? I think maybe one of those days where starting again would probably be better. Right. Are we actually going? Somebody say something in the chat, please, so I know that we're actually back on. So I'm just checking that we're back on. Somebody can say something. Look, crikey, it's well behind. It's like, oh, it's over a minute behind. Right. Hi Dominic, yeah, yes, we're off, says Wesley. Right, thank you, yes, we're off and running, so yeah, so yes, this Sranofone thing, it arrived the other day. Now I'm just moving stuff out of the way. So this is it. This is the Sranofone. And it is Sranofone because it's got an original label on the end of the box there. Can you see that? Right. Probably thumbnail time, this, isn't it? So, Sranofone. Yeah. 4216A telephone from Standard Telephone and something limited. Well, of course, it's Standard Telephone and Cable Limited, isn't it? STC. The people who make trim phones. Now, I can't find anything out about this on the old internet. I can't find anything out about it at all. But here it is. It's a thing called a Sranofone. It's in this box, and it came with this cable wrapped around it, which is, as far as I can tell, a 2-core telephone cable, but it's not very good because it's got the single core wire in it, so wrapping it up and unwrapping it, wrapping it up and unwrapping it will eventually break that single core wire and it'll fail. So it's the sort of cable that's designed to be installed and left, not kept being wrapped up. So I don't know if that's the original cable that should have come with it or not. But here now is the phone. So this is the Sranofone. And that's it. And it looks like it's just a handset, I know that. But it's not. It is actually a complete telephone. And it has a patent number on it. Now, will you be able to see this? Can you see that? British patent 737541, I think. Yeah, 737541. Now, here's the thing. What is it? What is it? Oh, thank you, Michael T, who's sent us a £2 super chat. Thanks, Michael. It's a Sranofone, this. But what is it? What's it used for? Well, the kind of clue is down this end, because it's got two connectors down the bottom of there that wire would connect into. So it's got all the looks of it as if it might be a field telephone, but you can't find anything about it on the internet. The only way you find anything, put Sranofone into the internet, it comes back with a blank, but put that patent number in and you do get pictures of it, although you can't actually get the patent. I thought if I put that patent number in, I thought there would be some sort of UK government website or something. I could put that patent number in and I could get the historic patent and all the sort of pictures and diagrams and that will be part of the patent application, like you can for a lot of American things. Wrong. Doesn't seem to exist in the UK. It doesn't seem to be a thing that happens in the UK. But unless somebody knows different and has found a website that I haven't, so if anybody knows how to get hold of this patent for this phone, let me know, please. But it's got two push buttons on it. One on there, which is sort of a dark reddy colour. It doesn't really show up very well on here. And one on there that is black. No idea what those push buttons do. If I take this cap off, this cap seems seriously similar to one on a 700 series handset to me, but I don't think it's totally the same. Let's have a look. I happen to have a phone here with a 700 series handset. So this is the one off a 700 series, this is the one off the Sranofone. Are they the same? And the answer is I don't think they are quite, because this one has got quite a pronounced moulding mark around it down there. This one hasn't. There is a mark there, but it's nowhere near as pronounced. Also, I think this one is about this one, the Strano one, is about a millimetre deeper. But they do look very similar, but again, but not quite the same on the inside. Okay, so similar but different. And when you put them together like that, they're different sizes very slightly as well. Can you see that? One goes inside the other. The Strano handset goes inside. So, working on that theory, this will not fit on a normal 700 series handset. I was on the wrong camera then, wasn't I? Alright, let me do it again. I'm just not doing very well at all tonight. No, they don't fit together. See what? The Strano one, that one, goes inside the other one. Yeah? So they don't look quite the same. This one is more tapered in at this edge than this one is as well. Do you see? Can you see that? So I don't know if one will fit on to others handset, but we'll try it. So here's a 700 series handset on a phone that's at the side of me here. Let's see if this will fit on. No chance, it's not big enough. Not big enough at all. So the 700 series one probably won't fit on here. It's miles too big. So, although they look the same, they're different. And they seem to have the same transmitter element in them though. So, although on this it's green, it does look the same as a GPO one. So here's your GPO one. I can't get it in closer to the camera because the phone that's wired in, but there it is. This is your standard 4T mini speaker thing that goes in there, and of course screws on there, and you just see the 3 little holes through the centre hole there. That's fairly standard. This one's also got 3 little holes that appear through the centre hole. If I tap it on the bench to get it out, it's got a very similar bit of metal behind it to hold it in place, and it looks identical except for the fact it's green and it's got this number on the back of it. Right, let's get it in focus. So there it is. It's got 4042C on the back of it, and it seems to be painted green. I think it's all metal and it's painted green, and you can see inside there as well, while I've got it held up, they are the backs of these 2 switches. Okay, so we'll stick that back together and we'll stick that back on. Like that. So what we'll do is we'll try taking it apart, and I have had this apart previously. I have cheated. There's a screw in there that you release, and there's a screw in here that you release, and this phone is a bit broken because when you release this screw here, there's a bit of the plastic that comes away with it. Which I'm pretty sure shouldn't. It's just the fact it's broken, so I might have to use a bit of acetone on that. But now I've done that. Let me take this box out of the way a minute. Now I've done that, we can take the back off and you can see what's inside it. And there's all sorts in there. So there's the 2 switches in there, and there's this which looks like the springy thing that would connect to a battery. And when you look at it side by side like that, and there's a bit of metal here that doesn't move at all, so it looks like there should be a battery, or maybe 2 or 3 batteries inside there. Now I've not worked out what fits this yet, but yeah, it should be a battery. So it looks like it's battery powered. Well, the speech would be battery powered, but how do you ring the phone at the other end of the line? Now there's this again is on plastic standoffs that have broken. Don't know if you can see there, there's a plastic standoff, see, and it's broken. So, but it should be in that position like that. So again, they will need fixing. But I've no idea what this is. I'm kind of thinking that it's a that it's a capacitor, but having said that, there's a little thing on here, a little scrunny, that seems to adjust with a spring, so I'm wondering if it's actually a buzzer of some sort, but I would expect it to have holes in if it was a buzzer to let the sound out. So I've got no idea, and it's got the number 4005B PX on it. But apart from that, what have we got? Well, we've got the back of the microphone here, which is actually an early GPO type one by the looks of things. The one that was fitted in, well, it will fit in everything from candlesticks right up to modern things. So chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Trying to connect to chat. Please try again later. What's that all about then? Why has it disconnected the chat? Are we still on? It's not going very well tonight, this. No, we're still on. Don't know what's happened to the chat. No, wait. Is the chat still going on here? Yeah, it's still going on here. Gambo says, I thought it was an army phone or a telephone engineer's phone. Yeah, I'm erring on the side of an army phone, Gambo. But I'll just carry on while the chat seems to be disconnected on the stream. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Shall we try to stop and start again? Let's try and stop and start again. Just bear with me a second. Right, we're back up, I believe. I believe we're back up and running. I think. We'll figure it out in a minute. Right, so there is a bit of a delay on it though. It's all sent to testers tonight. Right, so we've got this thing that we're not sure what it is. It could be a capacitor, it could be a buzzer. I'm not entirely sure. We've got the microphone, which is fitted in anything from candlesticks right up to 706s, and that this microphone will fit into. It looks like a standard GPO type one, and also in here, on this side, we've got a little induction coil. What looks like an induction coil anyway. Looks very similar to the induction coil you find in a 746 perhaps, or 706 maybe. Similar, but probably not quite the same. So, and a couple of resistors, and that's about it. That's about all there is to it. But what's getting me is, why has it got two buttons? One of them has got a thing like a Phillips head, to put a Phillips head screwdriver in it by the looks of it, and the other one's got a similar thing, so perhaps they can both be locked in. Can they be turned and locked in? No, but they do unscrew. By the looks of it. Yeah, so that's just the plastic end of the button that unscrews. Okay. But what does it do? Answer, I've got absolutely no idea. So if anybody knows anything about these, get in touch with us. Because it's a real mystery to me. And I don't even know what battery to put in it, what voltage battery to put in it, or what voltage to put across it to try it. But obviously there should be a battery in there of some kind. Now that would generally supply enough power, enough DC power for speech, but it wouldn't supply AC power for ringing, and there's nothing to ring anyway. So what do you connect it to? I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea. And we can find a picture of these phones, but we can't find any more than a picture. You know, we can't find a description of what they do or anything like that. Some people call them World War II phones. I don't think it does date from the World War II, partly because of the fact it's plastic, and I have got a World War II field telephone, and it's Bakelite. And I don't think this is Diacon. I think this is probably ABS or something similar, which I don't think was around in World War II, although some plastics expert I'm sure will be able to correct me there if I'm wrong. So for now we'll put it all back together. There is one more thing that I want to show you about this. And that is, I don't know if you can see it or not. If I get it close up to the camera you might see it. But can you see there are marks in it? What look like cut marks in it, or scratch marks in it, and they are relatively deep. When I run my fingernail across them, I can feel them. And I know what's done those marks because I've seen it before. I've seen it on a microphone, on a dynamic microphone before, you know, as in the microphone like that a singer would use, you know, one of these sort of microphones, or one of these sort of microphones like this one behind me. But it was a plastic case one, and that was crucial. And well, because that's got a metal case, that's a metal body to it, but a plastic bodied one, and it had got these marks like this. And what it was it had the mic cable wrapped around it, this microphone, and when I took the mic cable off after it had been wrapped around it for a couple of years and not used, the silver paint on the microphone, which was actually cast in black plastic then painted silver, you know, it got a silver coating on it, the silver paint had all come off where the cable had touched it, and the cable was sinking down into the plastic like some sort of chemical reaction had gone on between the cable and the plastic to melt the plastic over time. And the same things happened here, because when I got this cable was wrapped around it, and I'm pretty sure that is what has left these marks on it, because I don't know if you can hear that as I run my thumbnail down it. They are quite deep. So if you've got something plastic with a cable on it, do not wrap the cable around the body of it, because this happens, and it happens quite quickly. It can happen within a few months. So there's a warning to you. So yeah, so this is the Sranofone I thought it was a Sranofone when I first heard about it, but it's not a Sranofone, it's a Sranofone. Sranofone. And as I said before, made by Standard Telephones and Cables Limited, and it's a model 4216A. So if anybody can find out anything about it, let me know, either in the comments to the video or in the normal place on the website. Hang on, I've got the wrong thing. Where is it? There, that's the one. That's the one. andyshed.coldpress.net. That's where you'll find the contact us form if you want to get in touch and tell us what a Sranofone is, because we don't know. Right, what's everybody up to in the chat? Sorry, it's all gone a bit wrong today. Again, thanks to Michael for the super chat there. If anybody wants to do that, they can do, of course. I'm sort of favouring the super chat over Patreon these days, because Patreon takes rather a lot of the money that is donated off you and their fees. So I'm sort of favouring the YouTube super chat over Patreon these days, I think. Dominic says it's very interesting that olive colour is very similar to the green linesman's phone. It could be a linesman's phone, Dominic. It could be a linesman's phone, but it just looks military to me. It does look military. I think the green linesman's phones are a slightly lighter colour than this. I think, I'm not sure. Miguel says it looks like an early butt set. Yeah, but there's no dial or anything on it. I don't know what it is. I really don't know. It's some kind of field telephone or butt set, because it connects directly onto a line with those. But I really don't know. So you've got a chance there, Miguel. But it's certainly not a GPO one, because I know what the GPO butt sets are like, and they're not like this. Gambo says, I thought it was an army phone or a telephone engineer's phone. Yeah, I'm with you there, Gambo. I'm erring on the side of army. Dominic says, did you see the photos of my vintage Sony Hi-Fi, Andy? Not yet, Dominic. We're going to have a look in a minute. Gambo says, all this 1900s, 1990 is like a couple of years ago. Well, it is to an old fart in his 40s. Almost 50. Cough, cough. Yes, Gambo. 1990 is 30 odd years ago though now. It's 2022 now, so what is it? It's 32 years ago now, 1990. Crikey. How time flies. Right, so, yeah, so that's it. Anyway, made by STC. The Sranofone. That's it. That's what it is. And you saw it first here, sort of thing. The STC Sranofone. If you know anything about it, get in touch with us. As I said, either via the website, via the contact us form on the website, andyshed.coldpress.net, via the YouTube comments on here. If you got my email, you can send me an email, or you can even go to our telephone forum, gpotelephones.proboards.com. One or two people have asked me about the forum this week, who didn't realise that we'd got a forum, who've sort of left comments on videos and stuff and asked questions about fixing telephones, and I've pointed them in the direction of the forum. So might be a few new people appearing. Michael says, hi Andy and everyone, did you hear the story of the Rick Astley SW takeover? No, I didn't hear the story of the Rick Astley takeover. Are you going to regale us with it, Michael? Rick Astley. That's never. You get Rick rolled, don't you? That's the thing, isn't it? Being Rick rolled. Christopher says it's a German phone. No, it's STC. It's made in the UK. Christopher. Right. Well, we're waiting to find out if we're going to get rickrolled or not. We'll go a bit further. Shall we see if we can find these pictures that Dominic sent? Let's have a little look. Because I'm sure he has sent them. Because I've seen them on my phone, but I've not seen them on the computer that can bring them to you, sort of thing. So. We will have a look. Right. Oh, crumbs, the big pictures. I'm not sure if I can. Oh, they do fit on the screen, so we're alright. Right, I will now try and see if we can sort this out. Right, let's have a little look, see if we can see these pictures. Right, so Dominic's pictures, when we come into place. Oh, just talking with myself a minute. It's just been one of those days today. Right, Dominic's pictures. Here we go. Hopefully, here's one of his reel-to-reel tape machine set in the corner there. I'm quite envious of that as somebody who's setting up a partially retro radio station at the minute. I'm quite envious of that reel-to-reel machine. I've got a question about reel-to-reel machines. Every time you see a reel-to-reel machine, they're standing up like that, yeah? But every time you see one in a radio station, they seem to be set flat into the desk. And my question to anybody who's got or had a reel-to-reel machine is, can you lay them down? Or are the flat ones different machines? Or can you have them either stood up or laid down? Does it matter what orientation they're in? But that's Dominic's reel-to-reel. And here's the rest of his hi-fi setup. And now, can you see all this? All at one go, sort of thing. So there's part of it, and a tape machine down the bottom there as well. And that shelf it's all on looks very familiar, Dominic. That does. But yeah, all Sony, I believe, all of this, and all kind of matching. And it's kind of mostly before Sony realised that you could stack things up, because it's a separate system and it looks like it ought to stack, doesn't it? But I bet in actual fact it doesn't. I bet there's not feet on it, is there, Dominic? And if you look at the turntable, it's the same style as the rest of it, but I'd say it's slightly wider than the rest of it as well. So although it looks like it should stack, I've got a nasty feeling it probably won't. But I am liking the tape deck on the bottom there. That's an interesting one. Almost looks like a professional one, that, as if that has come out of a radio station or something. Because it looks like it's got soft touch buttons and things on it. And there is the actual record deck itself. A PS1350 turntable, which is a Sony design from the I think it's 1970s design. That quite a good quality one. You can tell it's a good quality one by the adjustable weight on the back end of the tone arm. So it's a pretty good quality deck. That you just can't get decent quality turntables and things these days. There is so much rubbish being made in, well, wherever it's made, China, Japan, wherever. All these Crosley things and that you get now that look like they've been put into a picnic hamper. They're absolutely terrible. But yeah, but that's a really nice deck. I like the wood effect stuff. The combination of the sort of brushed aluminium type look and the wood is rather good. So yeah. So there it is. Now, what are those tape decks there, Dominic? Because one, if I'm not very much mistaken, one looks as if it takes a bigger cassette than the other one. Or is it just the way the doors are on them? But that bottom one definitely looks like it takes a bigger cassette than the upper one. What's the story there, Dominic? What does it do? He says regarding the reel-to-reel, some of the smaller ones can be used upright or flat, but the taller ones tend to be upright only. It says that's an L cassette L5 deck, but the transport needs fixing. What is L cassette, Dominic? Is that one of these weird formats that Tecmo keeps getting a hold of? One of these bizarre ones. Jimmy says, a hospital radio. We had an ex-BBC reel-to-reel machine. It was built like a tank. Crikey. Have they still got it, Dominic? The reason I ask was, I forgot who made the BBC ones now. It's a known name who made the BBC reel-to-reel tape machines, and they used to put them on trolleys. And one of the trolleys that they went on has popped up on eBay, and I think the trolley without the deck on it is about 500 quid. I know it's a fair amount of money, and it's not actually got anything on it, so imagine what the deck would be worth. Dominic says the top tape deck on there is a standard TD STC, sorry, K75 from 1979. The bottom one is an EL5L cassette deck from 1976, but the transport's a bit broken and it needs repairing. Oh, Jim's arrived. Hi, Jim. And he says, I found the patent info online. Can you post a link to it, Jim? Let you post a link. Seems to let you post a link. Dominic says the L cassette is a failed format that used 1/4 inch tape and 3.75 inches per second running speed. Bit tricky to find tapes for it, but I luckily got a new old stock box of tapes for a good price. So if it's using 1/4 inch tape then, Dominic, and it's running at 3.75 inches per second, that should be a pretty good format. That should be pretty good sound quality off that, if you can get that going. I think you should take that apart and see if you can get that going. That L cassette. It's probably just rubber bands inside it or something that need replacing. That's all Techno never seems to do. He just puts a new rubber band inside things and they seem to work. Yeah, L cassette. I'm liking it. L cassette. Right, who else has sent us photos this week? I think Christopher sent us some. If I can find them. Where are we? Where are we? Now, I'm looking for them and I can't see them in my list at the minute. I've got so many emails though that they could be there. I just can't blooming see them at the minute. One thing I have found, Arthur sent this the other day. A suede, I'm not kidding you, a suede 706. Don't believe me? There it is. Oh, actually, I'm not sure it is suede. I think it's more corduroy by the looks of it. It's a telephone wearing a tea cosy. Now, I have seen things like this before, and it happened in America as well. This, whereby you could decorate your telephone. The rules were that you couldn't do anything to alter the phone. You couldn't take the casing off the phone or anything like that. But if you asked if it just sort of sat on top of it, that was fine because it didn't interfere with it at all. So they invented things like this, and I have seen American phones with something similar to that on, where they've got like a metal overlay over the phone in like pierced metal and fancy designs and stuff. So yeah, so a suede 706, he says. I'm looking for the thing that Christopher sent. You might have to send it again. Oh, tape train back again. That's it. Oh, that's it. It's because it didn't have an attachment on it. Right. I think we can show it there, Christopher. That's it. It says here, hi Andy. Here are some photos of the Red Rattlers that went to Belgrave today, and a photo of me standing at the guard's window. So these are the famous Red Rattlers that didn't actually come out of service that long ago, and this one's been restored. I think it was last year that it was restored, and yeah, just fantastic trains. If you want to see video of them running, go onto Christopher 2000's YouTube channel, go on his train channel, because he's got a train channel and a telephone channel. Go on his train channel and you'll find loads of footage of them running and a lot more besides. But yeah, just great things. I really, really like them. Very, very sort of old-fashioned look to them, and I bet they really do rattle, don't they? Dominic says very interesting style there, laughing his head off. I think he means the telephone, not Christopher. I think he means the suede telephone. Chris says I sent an email today and yesterday. So have you sent me another one then, Christopher? Hang on. What was that one? That one was sent on the 20. Oh, that's yesterday. So you've sent me another one somewhere. Oh yeah, the VCR. Yes, he said this is Christopher's old VCR machines that he's got. Now this is quite topical. This is Christopher. There they are. Because I've also been messing with VCRs today. I've been messing with U-matics today, and I dropped a U-matic machine today. I was well annoyed. I didn't do any damage other than I broke a sort of plastic foot off it. So I'll have to get my 3D printer out and redo the plastic foot. But yeah, I've been humping U-matic machines about today. I took some to the radio station because, to be honest, the house here is just full of stuff. And because we've got a bit of space in the radio studio, I thought some of this stuff that is like broadcast related can go and live in the radio studio. Yeah, we'll be showing you more of the radio studio. As we get towards summer and it gets lighter nights, and hopefully when we get an internet connection at this radio studio, which we've not got at the minute, don't ask, it's a long story. but when we get an internet connection there, we will do an Andy Shed Live from PVR, from the studios of PVR at Plesley Vale, and I will show you more of it. But if you're interested in the radio, there's a new playlist on my channel that says how to start a radio station. Click that playlist and all the videos relating to it will be in there. There's 2 there already, and there's 3 more to come that will probably come out sometime this coming week, I would think. Right, okie dokie. Dominic said, oh, I had that Panasonic one, I think, as well. What that? One of those. I don't think I can make it any bigger. I wish I could make the pictures bigger, but I don't think I can. Yeah, the Samsung and a Panasonic. I don't know if Australia works on the same system that we do. Do you work on PAL in Australia? You're not NTSC. Are you NTSC or are you PAL in Australia, Christopher? I've got a feeling you're probably PAL, because Australia does things, tends to do things the British way rather than the American way, don't you, in Australia? Hence the sign of the road they drive on and things like that. Yeah. And he sent a photo showing his model Red Rattler as well. He did indeed, because I have seen that photo. Right, shall we have a look for that one? So we've seen the real Red Rattler. Now we're going to have a look for the photos of it. The thing is, they're very difficult to find when you get so many emails. Talk amongst yourselves a minute, we'll get there eventually. Red Rattler model. There it is. I can't make it any bigger, but I can show it. There. That's in model Red Rattler with model overhead and a slightly wonky traction pole in that bottom photo there. Oh, we've got another super chat from Michael. Thanks very much, Michael. Thank you for that. You're an absolute star, matey. Glad you're enjoying the show. Yes, the Red Rattler model is rather good. I'll tell you a story about railway overhead and, well, tramway overhead actually, but it's a similar sort of thing. Somebody rang up once when I was working at the Tramway Museum at Christchurch for one of the other UK museums that has tram cars, and they were planting some new traction poles to hold the overhead up, and they rang up and said, can we speak to somebody that deals with your overhead line? And the guy on site that sort of dealt with all the outside works on the overhead line at that time was a guy called Bob Hall. Don't know if he's still around there or not, because I've not been a part of the tramway at Christchurch for years and years, but if you're watching, Bob, hello. And Bob was out his lunch at the time, so I said, that's a very good question. I said, we've got the man to answer this question, but unfortunately he's out at lunch at the minute. I'll get him to ring you back. I'll ask him, and either I'll call you back or I'll get him to ring you back. So when I saw Bob that afternoon, he came back from his lunch. I said, Bob, this guy's rung up, and he says he's planting a traction pole for the overhead, and he wants to know how deep it has to go, how much of it you have to put in the ground. And Bob came back with the most technical answer I've ever heard, and he said, that depends. I said, it depends on what, Bob? He says, well, how much you want to put in the ground depends on how much you want to have sticking out of the ground. And that was as technical as it ever got. Wesley says, I don't think you can share links in the chat, Jim. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'll tell you what, Jim. If you email me or send it to me on the thing on Andy's shed on the contact us form, I'll pass it on. If it doesn't get to me tonight, because emails don't always get to me straight away and stuff, I will pass it on next week to everybody, and we'll figure out what this patent thing is all about. Right, so very cool, isn't it, tonight? Thanks to Michael for supporting the show. Right, where have we got to? I think I've basically covered it all tonight, unless anybody's got any questions or anything. I've covered what I was going to do. Just to reiterate again, this thing made by STC, we want to know what it is. If anybody's got any ideas, get in touch, you know what to do. Other than that, it's been a bit quiet on the old telephone front for the last couple of weeks, mainly because I've been buying radio station stuff. So I'll quickly tell you where we stand with the radio station now. We are in the room at Plesley Vale Business Centre, which actually, that sounds like a really boring place, doesn't it? Plesley Vale Business Centre, but it's so not. It's actually an old cotton mill built in the mid 1800s, and it was the third of 3 mills to be built, all at a place called Plesley Vale, which is near Mansfield on the Nottinghamshire-Derbyshire border. And these 3 mills are now looked after by the local council, who've turned them into a business centre and divided them all up into little rooms, and you rent little rooms, and some people are businesses in there, some people just rent rooms for storage. There's one guy who's rented a room mainly because he's got a model railway in it and stuff. So yeah, that's a little community at Plesley Vale, but it's a very out of the way kind of hidden place. And in one of the videos, when we get a nice day, in fact we've had a nice day today, I ought to have done it today really, in one of the videos about the radio station, I will show you around at Plesley Vale, because it's very historic. It's sort of late 1700s to late 1800s. It was a really bustling place, and now it's much forgotten in amongst the trees in a gorge, down in the bottom of a gorge, because it was a watermill. Basically, that's why it was there. It was powered by water, I believe. May have been powered by steam later. I'm not sure, but I think it was a watermill. Dominic says the radio station is looking really good now. You ain't seen nothing yet, Dominic. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's when the equipment gets in there, it will start to look up. We've got computers going in for the playout that are going to be running a piece of software called Rivendell, which is a Linux-based piece of software specifically for radio playout. I've been messing about with a limiter compressor today. Any of you audiophiles out there that know what a compressor limiter is, and a gate, you'll know it's a thing with a lot of little knobs on that you twiddle and have to set up and balance and things. And I've been trying to do that today, and it's the first time I've ever touched one. I know what the theory is, but it's the first time I've ever actually had to do it and try and set one up. And I was there, I think, for 3, maybe 4 hours this morning trying to sort it out. You'll see it all on a video coming out this next week. But yeah, and I've sort of got it, I think, but I'm still not 100% convinced that I've got it. But we are getting there. But one thing about this desk that is there, about this radio mixing desk, is a lot of the inputs on it are on big DIM plugs, multi-way connector DIM plugs, and so there's a lot of soldering to do to solder these wires into these connectors so you can plug them in. There's a lot of soldering to do, a lot of fiddly soldering to do. So that'll be interesting, because although I can solder, I'm not the world's neatest at soldering. Soldering and welding, I'm the same. I can do both, but I'm not the neatest in the world at it. So when it's something that's tiny and fiddly, it's a bit of a challenge. Christopher says, I sent an email to show the couplers I had to the Red Rattler. I'll have to find it out, Christopher. I'll have to find that one, because, to be honest, I remember you sending it, because I do remember reading it, but I've had so many emails, they all end up in a big heap, sort of. It's literally like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Dominic says, if you like, I could see if I can locate my old TC377 reel-to-reel recorder, but it does need new belts. Go for it, Dominic. Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it. You can come and cut the ribbon and open the studio when it's done as well, if you want. Christopher says, I've just sent an email to show a GPO or GEC telephone at is it Flinders Street or is it Flinders Street? I never quite know if it's Flinders or Flinders Street, but basically it's at a railway station. And he's just sent this email, so let's see if it's arrived. The thing about emails is they don't always get here straight away. Oh, Jim sent the thing about the Sranofone. Right, okay. Right. Let's have a look, see if we can find this pattern then. Pattern search. Right, means for adjusting strokes of windmills, sacrificial anode coatings, what's the number on it again? 73541. Standard telephones and cables. Right. I don't know if I can. Will it let me show it? Let's see. It sort of will, I think. Hang on. Right. So, Jim's found this. There we go. It's on the right hand side there. Improvements in or relating to telephone sets. Standard Telephones and Cables Limited. The inventors, driver Douglas Lewis Ashton. Driver Douglas Lewis Ashton. And it looks like the patent dates from 1953. The application dates from 1953, but it was published in 1955, so that's a bit earlier than I thought. So it's Standard Telephones and Cables Limited, October 16th, 1953, number 2860553, that's 40, a local battery telephone set. The whole instrument, including the battery, is contained in the handset, that's right. Use is made of a sub-assembly, figures 2 and 3, comprising a microphone 8, buzzer 9, and transformer 4. Transformer? Oh, that'll be the... yeah. Line terminals 1, 2, and a contact spring 12, which engages one contact of the battery. The sub-assembly is built around a frame member 13, preferably of plastic insulating material, and is secured in the upper end of the handset body, figure 4, by means of 2 pegs, 15, 16, and a screw through hole 17. The handset body consists of 2 mouldings, 19 and 20, meeting in a step joint, the line 21, and secured together by 1 screw at each end. The battery 7, figure 4, consists of 3 cylindrical dry cells of the type used in hand torches, so what I would call a HP2 worthy, or SP2s. A spiral spring 24 affording contact with the lower cell and pressing the 3 cells together. The ear cap 29 screws onto the handset body. The circuit is shown in figure 1. The speak and buzz keys 10 and 11 being fitted on the handset. So one makes it buzz and another key to speak. Right, so buzzer 9. So that thing on the back is the buzzer then, according to this. So the buzzer is number 9 on that diagram, if you can see that diagram. Can you see that diagram? Yeah, you can see enough of it. So the buzzer is number 9 on that diagram then, which is that thing on the back. So the keys number 11 isn't quite like what I've got here, but yeah, this is kind of the other way around, because the one on the patent here, if you look at the right hand side of it, the end that unscrews, which has got item 29 on it, the end that unscrews the ear cap hasn't got the buttons on. The button is number 11, I think. 10, 11. That are on the other end of it, and on the one that I've got here, right, the ear cap on that picture, it's that way round, isn't it? No, it's that way round. Which way round is it in the picture? Yeah, it's that way around, isn't it? So that's marked there, but that's the ear cap end, and on this it's not at the ear cap end at the bottom there, it's at the top, so it's at the other end. So the idea is sort of there, 737541A, and this is 737541. So it's not quite as it appears on the pattern, but it's close. So that thing on the back there is indeed a buzzer. So if I was to connect two of these together, we should be able to get some life out of them, by the looks of it. Well discovered there, Jim. Well discovered, mate. You've done us proud there. And what I was originally looking for, which was Christopher's picture. Oh, come on now. Where are we? Is here somewhere. Is there. This is a photo of a GEC or GPO 711 or 741 wall phone at Flinders Street Station in 1990. So they were still around in, well, they definitely were still around in 1990. I remember going in a pub in it'd be sometime in the 90s, and they'd got what they call a renter's box on the wall. So basically a box that you put money in, a grey box that you put money in, and a phone, a wall phone mounted alongside it, all on like a notice board thing. So yeah, they were definitely still very much around in the 1990s, and that. So yeah, I'm not terribly surprised at that one. Right, looks like Jimmy is on his way. Michael says, I was poorly in hospital when I was a lad. I took comfort in ringing Dave Saunders on Radio Lollipop. Crikey! Radio Lollipop, that's something I've not heard about. Is that still going, Radio Lollipop? I know there are various hospital radio stations around now, but has Radio Lollipop fallen by the wayside? But yeah, Radio Lollipop used to be a thing, didn't it? It was hospital radio, wasn't it, radio? I have remembered that right, haven't I? It was hospital radio. But where was it? Because I heard of it, but I never kind of knew a location for it. I wonder if it was in all hospitals, or if all hospital radios were called Radio Lollipop, but there was just local ones in each hospital. I don't know how it worked, that. But yeah, Radio Lollipop. Yeah, that's something. I've not heard that name in a long time. So Michael used to ring Dave Saunders on Radio Lollipop because apparently Dave was also his English teacher. Did Dave know it was you ringing in, Michael? Did he know? That is brilliant. I like that a lot. That's excellent. Right, what's everybody else? Somebody in the chat. Wesley says I put a new drop wire up in the late noughties it terminated on a hardwired 741. That was in the late noughts, the late 2000s. They put a new drop wire up and it terminated on a hardwired 741. Crikey. Excellent. I like it. Oh, Peter Blackburn's with us. Hello, Peter. Hiya. Nice to see you. Chris says, I've sent an email to show you my new GEC 746 Mark 1. Everybody seems to be getting GEC 746 Mark 1s at the minute. You'd think they're rare, but apparently they're not. Because everybody seems to have got one at the moment. But here's Christopher's. But unfortunately I can't make those pictures any bigger. But you'll have to take my word for it. That's what it is. It's a GEC, Mark 1. That is, with a GEC dial label on it. Is that an original dial label, Christopher? Is that one that you've made? It looks like an original one. Looks pretty good, that. But yeah, there's things that are different about that as well, aren't there? It doesn't seem to have as many components somehow as a normal 746. I'm not quite sure what's missing. I'd have to look at one, but there's at least one capacitor missing, I think, isn't there? Don't they normally have 3, and that's only got 2? Very interesting, and I notice it's wired the old-fashioned way as well, by the looks of it. Because I know you've got quite a few that are wired to what we now call the old-fashioned way, haven't you? So, excellent stuff. Crikey. Michael T says, I have a recording of me and Dave for your station. Excellent, excellent, Michael. But it's got no music on it. What? Not quite sure where we stand if it has got music on it. Actually, we could probably still play it anyway, because we are going to be licensed for PRS and all that, so we can probably play it anyway. But yeah, excellent, Michael. Yeah, send it over. Have you got? I can't remember if you got the email address. If you've not got the email address, Michael, as I say to everybody else, get on the website andyshed.coldpress.net and just drop me a message on there, and I will reply with the email address. I just don't mention the email address on here. I say this every week. I don't mention the actual email address on here, because if I do, I get loads of spam bots all wanting to send me emails. And as I said last week, the only kind of spam that I like is the sort that I can fry and put on a sandwich. So, Christopher says, the step-down light bulb is not on the circuit board. You're right, Christopher. It's not, is it? You are absolutely spot on. Yeah, that is something that's missing there, isn't it? Oh my God, I've got the wrong thing now. Yeah, the light bulb's not there. Yeah. Well, you see, the ones that were made for private use were built to a price. The ones that are done for the GPO had certain components in that the GPO thought were desirable to make them work very, very well. But actually some of those components are not strictly necessary for a bog standard telephone. They just improved the quality of the sound, but you know, you could get a sound out of them without some of those components. So when people like GEC and Ericsson, one or two others, made phones for private use, they often did cut price versions of the 706 and cut price versions of the 746 and whatever, so they only put in the bits that they had to. Ericsson famously didn't even put induction coils into some of their 706 clones. You know, they were totally missing the induction coils. So I'm not terribly surprised that is as it is, but the point is, some people say, oh, your phone without an induction coil or whatever, you know, it won't work. You know, it'll do some damage to the handset and all this kind of thing. But the point is, I think any phone that is still working after 40 or 50 years is probably going to be okay, isn't it? So yeah, if it works now after 40 or 50 years, it's probably going to keep working, isn't it? That's the way I look at it. Christopher says, all of my 746 phones are wired in the old-fashioned way. Excellent. Peter says, sorry to be dense. We have explained it before, but what is wired in the old-fashioned way? It's the conversion, Peter, that is done for plug and socket use. It basically cuts out a capacitor in the phone, because with a modern GPO, a UK GPO or Telecom or BT or whatever you want to call them these days, whatever they're calling themselves this week, with a modern master socket that you have on your wall, you plug into, there is a capacitor in that master socket. There's not one in the extension sockets, don't think, but in the master socket there is a capacitor. That capacitor used to actually be in the telephone. For some reason they moved it into the wall jack, and I think it's something to do with the capacitor gives a current path if no phones are plugged in. So from the exchange they can still test your line. If the capacitor wasn't in the wall jack, they wouldn't be able to test your line. It would be open circuit if there were no phones plugged in. So they would not be able to test your line. So they can test your line without a phone plugged in. That's why the capacitor is now in the wall jack rather than in the phone. So you slightly alter those terminals around that you see in the top right picture there of Christopher's phone. You slightly alter those jumpers between the terminals and move some of the wires around to cut the capacitor that's in the phone out, and use the one that is in the wall jack instead. Now Christopher here doesn't use a wall jack, I believe. He hardwires them in the old-fashioned way through the little plastic box. And because he wires them in the old-fashioned way, he has them wired up internally in the old-fashioned way, because he's not got a capacitor in a wall socket, because all he's got on the wall, and I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm assuming all he's got on the wall is the little GPO style plastic box, which really is just a terminal connector, you know, to connect a wire, one end of one wire to other end of another wire. There's no capacitors or other electronic components in it at all. It's just to connect wires together. So he's got that wired in the old hardwired pre plug and socket way, and you don't find many phones wired that way these days. And this is what so many people get wrong as well, because although there are lots and lots of videos out on YouTube on how to wire them for plug and socket, you'd be amazed the number that I get in that are still wired wrong. Yeah, they've missed bits out, and got those jumpers wrong and stuff, and yeah, and some get it well wrong. You know, it's really, really wrong. Obviously somebody's tried to do it, got it completely wrong, got everything cross-wired, and then gone, oh sod it, and put the phone on eBay. Because I've had one or two like that where it's been so wrong I've had to take every wire off those terminals and basically start from scratch, because it's just been so wrong. Right, okay. Chris says, normally I've got RJ12 sockets. RJ12? What's an RJ12? Because we have RJ11s here. What's an RJ12, Christopher? think RJ12 is something on ball to Australia. What do they have in America? They have RJ11s and something else in America, don't they? It says, I've just sent an email to show my hardwired 746 phone in my 1967 one. In 1967? Oh, crikey. Hang on, let's have a look. I'll see if I can find it, Christopher. Just a second. Bear with me a second. There's the phone. Right, hang on. There it is. Like I say, sorry the picture's tiny, but there it is. Hardwired in, and there's a little box you can see behind it there on the wall. But I think he's put an RJ12 connector into that box. Am I right in thinking you've modified that box slightly so it fits an RJ12 connector into it, Christopher? Right, cool. Okay, that's all rather good. Peter says RJ12s are like the connectors we use at a modem in the UK. Right. So it's not like an Ethernet connector, it's the other one, the smaller one. Is that what you're saying? It's the one that goes to the one that goes between your wall socket and your modem or whatever, which is a bit smaller than the Ethernet connector, you know, less terminals on it. Is that an RJ12, that one? I get them so mixed up because that looks like an RJ11 to me. So is the RJ12 the Ethernet connector? I don't know. I get them mixed up. There's RJ all sorts of things, all sorts of different sizes. Yeah, like a smaller RJ45. Yeah, because the RJ45 is the Ethernet one, isn't it? Have I got that right? I get the numbers mixed up. The RJ45 is the Ethernet one. The RJ12 is the smaller one. But I thought that was an RJ11, which is what they use in the States for telephones. I've not actually got one. Oh, hang on. Right, what's this then? Because this is what the States call modular, where they converted their phones. What's that then, people? Oh, hang on. Wrong camera now. This one. It's got 4 connections on it. It's a very small one, that. And this is what the US uses for modular conversions, because originally, I mean, this is the curly cord for a phone to a handset, obviously. Originally it would just got into these handsets, but the States modified them, Western Electric and that, so you could put different cords on them. So what's that one with 4 connectors on it? A little tiny one. You can see how tiny it is, that. You see? It'll be an RJ something or other, but I'm not sure what. It's an RJ whatever it is. Well, he says, I think that is what I would call an RJ11. Peter says, an RJ11 and RJ12. The main difference between RJ11 and RJ12 is that 11 is a connection jack that creates a bridge connection for a single telephone line which uses flat stain cable for household wire. Right. I'll tell you what I do with all these. I have a small pot full of all the different ones, and I just use the one that fits. so, yeah. Yeah. So, all good fun. But yeah, these phone connectors and that, they're all RJ something or others. All these sort of American style connectors and that, and the things that we use for Ethernet and stuff. And I guess they use all different sizes so you don't plug the wrong thing into the wrong thing, sort of thing. But it's confusing sometimes. And you think you've got a cable for something, and then you realise it's just not quite the right size connector to go in the thing. I've been caught out like that many a time trying to wire up stuff for the internet, because all the internet here, most of the things on the internet here are hardwired in with Ethernet cables, and you think you've found an Ethernet cable until you take it to the modem and try and plug it in. You realise it's not an Ethernet cable because the connector's not quite the right size. So yeah, Christopher says, I've sent an email showing an Australian phone socket and the junction box. Right, before we go, we'll have a quick look at that then, Christopher. Then it'll be time for me to go, because I shall turn into a pumpkin if I don't. Hang on, let's see if we can find it. I have to wait for the message to come through. No, not that one. That one. In the junction box. Yeah, oh, you've not put an RJ connector in there then. Oh, hang on. Wrong camera. Let's try that again. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Hang on a minute. Can I make that bigger? Ah, that makes it bigger. Right. So you've not actually put a RJ connector in there then, Christopher. You've just got it wired together, haven't you? Just got it wired up. But that is the traditional way of doing it, of wiring it up in the UK. So the cable on the left goes out to your telephone, but on the right there, that is your drop wire coming in from outside. And it's got, yeah, don't look too closely because it's got some of those things crossed in there, but yeah, because two of those have to be wired together. People say, why are the four terminals in some of those and 3 in others? Yeah, good question. Basically, we only ever use 3 in the UK unless it's for special purposes and that. But generally, most of the time, you only use 3 of those terminals, and 2 of those are wired together in that terminal block. Going to the phone, there is a green wire, which is basically a bell wire, a blue wire, no, a green wire, a blue wire, a red wire and a white wire. The blue wire is not used in the original way of wiring them. The green wire is your bell wire, the red and the white are the 2 legs of your line, and the green is normally connected in that block to one of the other 2, either the red or the white. I think it's the white that it's normally connected to. So when you then wire for modern plug and socket, you swap basically the green wire for the blue wire, so you start using the blue wire instead of the green one. No idea why. but you haven't got that box for modern plug and socket, so the blue and the white have to be wired together inside the phone, and that's why you connect 16, 17, 18 and 19 together inside the phone. So the blue and the white are wired together. If you look at a diagram for how to wire a 706 or 746 for plug and socket, you will see what I mean. Right. Christopher says, I got a 3.3 K resistor in the junction box too. Oh, maybe that's what I can see. I can't really see the picture very well because it's quite small on my screen here. But hang on, let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. But why would you put the resistor in there? Oh yeah, I can see where the resistor is there. Yeah, and you've got the resistor between the white and the green there because you're using the green, aren't you? So you've wired that then in the old-fashioned way, but you've also wired it so the phone uses less power. So you can have up to 4 phones plugged in because it will be like 1 REN instead of being 4 REN because you put that resistor in. Is that right? I think that's right. Go says, Soz, I'm making dinner, so we'll catch up later with you all. Back next week, take care. Cheers, Gambo, see you next week. I think we're going to be disappearing as well quite soon. Michael T says, I was picking apart RJ11 ports in a hotel room in New York. You're picking apart RJ11 port. Why were you picking apart RJ11 ports? What were you trying to plug into your hotel room there, Michael? I'm intrigued. Right, okie dokie. So anyway, that's Christopher's phone there. Quite a clever hack that, to put the resistor in there, so you can wire your phone up in the old-fashioned way, but still wire 4 phones up because you basically make them use less power if they've got 500 ohm bell sets in them. That is quite clever thinking there from Christopher. I would never have thought to do that in a million years. So well done on that one, Christopher. Right, I believe that is probably about as far as we go for this week. Next week we will be back, all being well, around about the same time, same place once again. But in the meantime, watch out in the week for more about the radio station. If you're not subscribed and whatnot, please do subscribe and hit that bell thing as well, so you get notified when a new video comes out. And also, can everybody please give this a thumbs up, give us a like on here. And I want to say hello to the resident troll as well this week, who put in the comment last week. It's the only thing I could think of to say. He says, why do you keep saying we instead of I when there's only you there? Well, there are other people, they just don't appear very often on the camera. So that's the reason for it. But the resident troll has to say something. So hello to the Bohemian, our resident troll. Because what our resident troll doesn't realise is that he watches every week, and when he watches every week, we get money for it when he watches the ads. So there you go. Right, we are off. We are on our way. I just thought I'd mention the troll, because people don't mention the trolls, do they? They don't go, you're a troll, get off. But I will. Right. Dominic says, I'll let you know via email, Andy, if I can find that TC377. Brilliant. How have you just moved, Dominic? How have you just moved house? Surely you've just moved everything. So, you will have moved it, or is it a case of not knowing which box it's in? Is it a bit like that? Christopher says, did you see the Australian phone socket in the email? No, I didn't, Christopher. No, I haven't. No. No is a simple answer. I can't see the Australian phone socket in it. No, you might have to send that one again, Christopher. Or maybe it's in a different email that's not got here yet, because they don't always come straight away. But yeah, send it me again and we'll have a look at it next week. We get said, good night. Let's hope things improve Russia. We don't want nuclear war. No, we don't, not particularly, do we? But yeah, I had enough filming Threads. Who remembers Threads? So yeah, that was near enough to a nuclear war for me. Almost felt like a nuclear war as well. They set a big explosion off in Sheffield to simulate a nuclear bomb. The BBC did it. It was nearly the size of a nuclear bomb as well. And Jim says, Andy, you might want to correct the spelling of Sranofone in your title. Have I got it wrong? Sranofone. What have I got in the title? Sran-o-phone. Sran-o-phone. Do you mean on the title card or in the title of the video? Because on the title card I've got S-R-A-N-O phone. And S-R-A-N-O phone. See, I've got that on the title card. And that's what's on the box. Have I got it wrong on the actual title? If I have, I can change it on the actual title of the video. So well spotted there as well, Jim. Jim's spotting all the stuff today. Jim's doing Wesley today, spotting all the mistakes and finding out all the information and that. Wesley, you're slipping, mate. You're slipping. Yeah. Well, it says there's no T, Jim. There isn't a T, in it. Sranofone. What? Who's got it wrong then? Yeah, you've got it wrong, Jim. Yeah, you've done what I did. I thought it was Sranofone. Yeah, you've done exactly what I did, Jim. I thought it was a Sran-o-phone originally, and it's not. It's a Sran-o-phone. As Wesley says, there's no T in it. So I'll have a look anyway. It's a really stupid name. You read that and you just scan read it and you want to see Sranofone, don't you? You want to see Sranofone. You want there to be a T in that, but there isn't. Whoever came up with that name, well, I've got no idea how the hell they came up with that name. But they should definitely have put a T in it, in my opinion. Right. Yeah. Sorry, says Jim. It's all right, Jim. I did exactly the same myself when I first Googled it. I put Sranofone into Google, and it was only when it actually turned up and I saw that on the end of the box, I thought, hang on, that doesn't look quite right. Why does that look right? And then there's no T in it. It's Sranofone. And then I Googled it again and still couldn't find it. So there you go. But yeah, it's a very, very strange name for what is a very, very strange phone. But I think we've established now that it takes 3 torch batteries, which I think will be what they used to call SP2s or HP2s. So I will try and find some of those because they're still available, and I will have a go at wiring this up. The question is, what do I put on the other end of it? Ideally, I need another one. But if you have 2, do you have to have batteries in them both, or not, or just in one? Because very often with field telephones, you only have to have battery in one end of it. I don't know. We will find out. If anybody's got any information about the Sranofone, like I say, let us know. Right, that is about as far as we go for today. One final thing before we do disappear. For any of you who are connected to CNET, it is down at the moment. If you are connected to my CNET server, I know Christopher and one or two others are, the whole thing is down at the minute. Something has gone wrong with the server box that sits on the windowsill here. I have not got a clue what it is. I log into the server box and it still looks okay, but for some reason it's not letting phones connect into it from ATAs. So I need to have a real good look at that, but it's not going to be an overnight fix, I don't think, unfortunately. I think it's going to take a while to sort it out. So I am aware that CNET is down, so sorry for all the people who connect to CNET via me, but yeah, I am aware it's down at the moment, so your ATAs are probably not connecting. I will try and get it back up as soon as possible. Right, Wesley says, Andy, have you tried turning it off and on again? I have, Wesley, and it's happened before, this problem, and that has worked before to solve it. But I've tried both turning off the ATAs here and also the server and turning it back on again. Like I say, before that has cleared it, but it's not worked this time, so I need to go more into it and find out what's up with it. But yes, I have tried turning it off and on again. And yes, I do know the entire internet is not in a little black box that has a red light on it. Kudos if you get that reference. Michael says, this is like a modern day bulletin board. I suppose it is, yeah. Yeah, Andy Shed Live is a show for people that can't be bothered to type in forums. That's what it is, basically. Talking of which, before I go, I'd better just give the forum another quick plug, because people are finding these videos and sending me questions and stuff, and they might be able to find some of the answers in the forum before I can. so if you want to go to the forum, it's here, gpotelephones.proboards.com. One or two people have asked me about it this week rather, and gone, and they've asked me questions, and I've gone, can you join the forum and put a photo in the forum? I've said to them, and they've gone, there's a forum? I didn't know there was a forum. So yes, there's a forum, it's here. gpotelephones.proboards.com is the forum. It's the place to be, honestly. Right, the place to be for me now is somewhere where there is something nice for tea, I think. So I will see you all next week. Peter says, has your router been reset? And is the firewall ports opened for it? It's not been reset that I know of, Peter. And I think the settings are all the same. Are you thinking my ISP might have done something without my knowledge? I'll have to look into it, that. But yeah, it did go weird in the middle of the night as well, so that makes me a bit suspicious that the ISP might have done something. But I will have a look at that. That's a very good point you've raised there. Right, I've got some things to do now, because you've all given me thoughts and things for why CNET might be down and how I might connect this up and various other things, and we've still got radio station stuff to do as well this week. So thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, do the thumbs up thing on YouTube, wherever you are, and we will see you next time. Yeah, yes, Peter, it went down all by itself. He says, my router did a factory reset the other week. All by itself. Might have been the storms. Oh yeah, I wonder. Don't think it's done a factory reset, but I will have a look at that. Yeah, you've got a good point there. Right, we shall have a look, and I will get back to you with news next week. From me, and from the unseen ones, just to keep the bohemian happy. we will see you next time. Have a great week ahead. Watch out for the radio station videos in the week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.